Hello everyone and welcome to 100% Chelsea. We are here for the Chelsea versus Arsenal preview. The game is on tomorrow. I have lots written down here, so it's going to be a long, in-depth episode. I'm going to start with the main man, Louis. I'm leading. He wants control back, but he's not having it. I'm here. Louis, introduce yourself to the channel.
Hello guys, how you doing? It's good to be on. Max, you better do a good job, mate. Otherwise, you're off the eye jump when I next see you.
Yep, so we've got Louis on. If you don't know who he is, there will be a link in the description to his YouTube channel, The Bugalo. Great channel, new video coming soon. Definitely check it out. Also, speaking of YouTube channels, if you are subscribed to mine, The 12th Man, you will know my partner in crime, my left-hand man, Derek McCannon, is here. He is not a Chelsea fan, but he will give us a nice, neutral point of view. Second best thing, we could have an Arsenal fan, but sometimes they can be very biased. So we've got a neutral, should give us a good point of view on the game. Derek, say hello and introduce yourself.
Is it on? Yeah. Hello. I'm Derek McCannon.
That's Derek, everyone, and obviously the man that you saw yesterday and in the transfer episode earlier today, Oren Tully. Oren, introduce yourself, mate.
Hi guys, I'm Oren Tully, and you may recognise me from my special day with John Terry on Sky Sports.
Yep, that's Oren. So, Oren, I will start with you. How do you think Chelsea will go out in this game? Obviously, London derby, massive game, normally very entertaining. Arsenal haven't won in 8 games. They haven't won since October 2011, and even worse than that, they haven't scored in 500 minutes of football, nearly 8 hours. So, with our current form and them being sky high top of the league, I think they are. How do you think we will both go out into the game?
I think it'll be a tough game for us, but as in Arsenal are top of the league, we're struggling for form. But anything can go, as results have shown today. I'm predicting a cheeky 1-0 win.
There we are. So Oren is saying a 1-0 win. As always, he's very optimistic going into the game. Louis, what do you think, mate? Give us your little in-depth preview.
Like you said, it's going to be a very, very difficult game to go into. I mean, if you look at Arsenal, like you said, they're third in the league. If they win tomorrow, they go back on top. They go top of the league, level on points and goal difference with Leicester. But because they're called Arsenal, they'll be top of the league. They're playing good football at the minute. We're not playing great football. It's basically two polar opposites. It's always, you've got to go into a game with an open mind. You've got to be optimistic going in. I'm going to go, I reckon we can get a draw. I'm not going to say I can't see us winning, but I think it will be difficult to go up there and win. It's a case of all our players have to be firing on all cylinders. And when we play Arsenal, there's just the level playing field, because even if we're playing terribly or Arsenal playing terribly, it's always a good game, because we always turn up against each other, because it's Arsenal and Chelsea, and because of the previous rivalries over the past 10 years which were formulated. So I'm going to go 1-1 draw.
Yeah, also there's a very fair point that has been put in the comments. Somebody said that what I just said with the 8 games without a win, most of that is with Jose Mourinho. His record against Arsenal is superb. So Derek, I'm going to give you this question. As Chelsea no longer have Jose Mourinho, and with his form against Arsenal, how much do you think that will affect the game? Obviously his record against Arsenal is absolutely superb. How do you think that will affect the game? Do you think it's going to have a massive, massive turning point in the result?
Yeah, I think it does, because Mourinho's always got that upper hand on Wenger, hasn't he, when it comes to it. I think with no Mourinho this time, it could be a lot different, a lot harder for Chelsea. I think it could be it'd be quite difficult. Obviously, Arsenal are playing great. I think Sanchez and Ozil are both fit for that as well, which makes it a lot harder than it already is. And obviously Chelsea weren't playing that well. I think you're trying to get consistent. I see you play against Palace. You're really good. But then West Brom match, it was a bit that. And same with Everton, so it could go anyway. But I think I'll go for 2-1 Arsenal.
Very fair point there with what you were saying about Ozil and Sanchez being back. Obviously Sanchez is coming back from a long-term injury. Ozil only a brief injury. But talking about Ozil, his form this season, unbelievable. He is basically single-handed Arsenal where they are. They've been a quality team as a whole, but Ozil has definitely been that standout player and probably one of the standout players in the league, if not the best. Oren, how do you think Chelsea will try and contain such a player like Ozil?
Well, to be honest, I do, like I said, I do think we'll win 1-0, but it'll be well, typically I think we'll park the bus and hold on for that 1-0 win. But containing us is a whole different story, as we've seen from this season, who has laid on countless goals for Arsenal. I think the best way to stop him is to man mark him, completely man mark him. Maybe put someone in there like Ramirez, who has the energy and who will be able to keep track of him.
So you've put Ramirez marking Ozil?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, that's a fair point. Who do you think will start in the defensive midfield?
Well, probably Ramirez, as I've said, and I'll go for Mikel. Seems to be quite a favourite under hitting, so I say Mikel will start with Ramirez if I'm right.
Yep, completely agree. Louis, what team do you reckon will set out for the game?
I couldn't agree more with Oran's two hard midfielders. I do think we need to have that energy in the centre of the park. And obviously it is going to be important to mark those players out of the game. Key players being Sanchez, being Ozil, and I know people may think this is I don't know, maybe even Arsenal fans might think I'm being a bit stupid here, but Giroud, every season he may not turn up against the biggest of clubs, but I think he's a man you should mark out of the game because he is a very, very, very consistent striker. Even though he may be a lamppost and a bit of a lumber sometimes, he can score goals and he is capable of doing that. So I think it'd be important to mark Giroud out of the game. Personally, I'd go with a very pacey and a very energetic team. I'd go Courtois and goal, and then it's the two wing backs which cause me difficulty because Ivanovic will get run round so easily, and I would be possibly consider putting Zuma out at that right back position, and Cahill and Terry in the middle. I know Zuma's not a right back, I know that, but Aspilicueta on that side, Bubba Rahman, even though me and Dan and Eunice and me and you, Max, we've all been saying he should be playing more, it'll be difficult for him to play in such a big game, I think, with the amount of experience he has, which is very little. And I think it would be best to play a strong team there. So I personally go Zuma, Cahill, Terry, and Aspilicueta as my back four. Then I do the two holding midfielders, like Orhan's saying, with Mikel and Ramirez, and then I basically play a five in midfield because I think it's important to flood that midfield. So then I will play Hazard. Is Hazard fit, actually?
Hazard's fit, yeah. They're saying he should be fit, but they don't know if he's going to start or come off from the bench.
Okay, so I would, if he's come back from a long-term injury, I wouldn't start him because you need someone with plenty of energy who's fit, fully fit. You know what? I'd start Kennedy. Oscar, and Willian, and then I'll play
Completely
Oscar
agree.
up top.
Definitely. Do you not think Loftus-Cheek deserves maybe a start in the midfield? Obviously, every game he's played, he's looked quality. Do you think it'd be unfair if he's not started? However, you do need players with big game experience.
Well, not necessarily. I mean, players. Sorry, dying still. Sometimes players without big game experience can turn up in the big games because the occasion makes them excited. It gets them pumped for the game. And I think Loftus-Cheek could potentially be one of those. But it's a case of where do you play him? Because if you play him further forward in that number 10 role, it's not his natural position. He doesn't look great there. He looks okay. But I do think he's more of a box-to-box midfielder. So if you're going to start him anywhere, I think it would be him or Ramirez. It was when Oran said it about Ramirez and Mikel, I was contemplating, maybe the possibility. Could you start Loftus-Cheek in this game? I wouldn't start him, but what I would do is I would use him to, in essence, park the bus, as in go 4-3-3 or three holding midfielders if we went 1-0 up maybe, and probably try and see out the game. Even if it's not that scenario, I do think it'd be good to have a player like Loftus-Cheek in the side who does have that hunger and that determination. It would be the same with Kennedy, because where he may lack in experience, he will have in energy, he will have in excitement, he will have in determination. Basically everything. For everything he doesn't have an experience, everything else will be much higher. Because it's important to have these young players, but I think he warrants to start, but not in a game like this. I would start him. I would definitely start him against MK Dons, without a shadow of a doubt. But I think he needs to get more time in the Premier League before he starts such a massive game.
Completely agree. I mean, I feel that he should have already had enough experience to start in this game. I feel
100%.
like
100%.
Yeah, I feel like there's times where he should have started and hasn't been in the team unfairly, because every time he has played, he has looked quality, and he definitely deserves some form of game time. I'd like to see him come on after at least sort of 70 minutes, ideally. Definitely get some big game experience. I think it could do wonders for him. And as you said about MK Dons, if he doesn't start in that game, then I will be appalled, outraged, because he could do so much in that game. But anyway, Derek, what do you think? Obviously, Sanchez is back from long-term injury. As we know, Arsene Wenger is very slow when it comes to bringing back injured players. If a player has an injury for 4 weeks, Wenger normally takes 6 weeks until they come back into the first team. Do you think that he's going to sort of rush Sanchez into coming back into this big game? Because we all know, it has been said by Thierry Henry at the start of the season that he thought Sanchez was going to be the player of the season, was going to be the man to single-handedly win Arsenal the league. So do you think that means he's going to be rushed into this game, or do you think Wenger will try and keep it slow and stick with the wingers that he has played for the majority of this season while Sanchez has been out?
I think Wenger would want to keep him out, but I think Sanchez is that type of player with so much determination to get straight back into the team as soon as possible. So I think he might even start him, because obviously he's not the type of player to maybe pussy out of some stuff. Like some players, as you said, Matt, it'll take such a long while for him to get back in. I think he'll rush straight back in, and I think he will maybe play about 70 minutes and then bring on maybe someone with more pace to hurt Chelsea, depending on the scoreline at the time.
Yeah, definitely. Oren, as you said earlier, you think Chelsea will win 1-0. It is no hidden fact that this season Arsenal are absolutely quality. I mean, the season that they're having so far is incredible. They haven't lost a single home game since the opening day against West Ham. So their home form is great. I think they've won 7 of their last 9 at home as well. It's no secret that they're sort of playing quality. I mean, top of the league, I believe they are. If not Leicester are, they're very close. If they win, they will remain top. Do you genuinely think that we have a good chance against them, or do you think it's going to be an extremely tight game?
I would agree with you. It will be an extremely tight game, but I do think we can get something out of this game. And I'd like to expand on what Louis was talking about. I think bringing in Kennedy would be an excellent decision. We needed this injection of flair and pace for such a long time now, and I believe Kennedy could be the guy to give us that injection.
Yeah, definitely. We've also got to say that obviously, as Jose is back, Arsenal have an incredible record with us without him. So that is another favour that's going in Arsenal's favour. It does seem that they have a lot of the benefits going into the game. So they are the favourites. There's no hiding that. But I mean, our record against them is quality. So personally, I've got to say, I reckon it would be a 1-1 or 2-2 draw. I've got to say, as Louis was saying about Kennedy, yes, he should start in my opinion, without doubt. He should start. Hazard, I get he's come back from injury, and you could be saying, oh yeah, we shouldn't risk him. But again, his form this season just hasn't been good enough. I remember saying for the preview of the game at home, we wanted to drop him due to his poor form, but I was saying that you've got to keep in such a big player who can turn up, because you've got to think they're still big names, they're still big name players, they're still big names who can turn up in big games. Someone like Hazard can do that and has done it before, but it's just gone on too long now, and I think someone like Kennedy deserves to be in the team for sure, and his burst of energy and pace will do wonders against the back four. Louis, have you got anything to add? Yeah, there you go.
Sorry to cut in, but it's because you go Kennedy. I want to say this wrong. What we're talking about flair and pace, as well as that, Kennedy is incredibly strong. And I was just thinking about it now. Alexis, he's not in terms of caliber, he's nowhere near him. But in terms of style, I do think he's quite similar to Alexis Sanchez.
They are very similar. I definitely agree.
I think in terms that he's a very strong player, so he can hold the ball. He's got flair, he's got pace, and he has got a shot on him. And I mean, out of the past 3 games he's come on, I believe he's scored 2 goals. Thanks.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I think he has actually. Has he only scored 1?
I don't know, but I think he scored one or two goals, so he can
Yeah.
score goals if he gets in decent positions. Um, I think like you're saying, Hazard's a big name player, but he has just come back from injury, and I don't if in such a massive game and the position we are in, we cannot afford to take risks. People may say Kennedy a risk, but Kennedy is even to us fans. Obviously, on the training pitch, he may not be to Gus Hiddink, but to us, he is proven in a match situation. And even if players such as the big names like Diego Costa, Hazard, Oscar, Willian, well, Willian has been performing, but the players which have not been performing this season, if they cut the mustard in training but don't do it in the game, that doesn't matter to me. It's in the main situation where you get the 3 points, the 1 point of the loss. We have to get 3 points this weekend. We have to get 3 points if we're going to carry on with this. 1 point is great, but it's not what we need. We need to get those 3 points on the board.
Yeah, for both teams, both teams definitely need the 3 points. Obviously, we've been saying for ages, we've been celebrating draws. Obviously, with a 3-3 draw against Everton, we were happy with that result. But realistically, as we said, we need 3 points. It would put us up to 1, 2, maybe 3 places. I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked at the table for a little while. It would be massive. But you've got to think Arsenal need this just as much. This could be one of the main turning points for whether or not they can realistically get this title. Obviously, if they get 3 points at us, that's going to put them even further ahead of City. This is massive for them, and that's definitely going to have such a huge part in this game. We should be watching an extremely exciting game. Both teams are going for 3 points. Neither team is going to settle for a draw, and I genuinely think if Chelsea are 1-0 up, I don't necessarily think that we'll be sitting back. I think we'll be looking for that second goal to make sure that we do win the game. Derek, what's your opinion on that?
My opinions, I don't personally. I don't think you will sit back because I think you need it. I think you'd rather win 1-0 than go out and win, than draw 1-1. Or obviously, I think that you wait. Hang on. Sorry, my mic went weird. Obviously, I think that you need the point. You need like the 3 points, as Louis said. This would be massive for you. But I think at 1-0, I think you would rather sit back and settle for the 1-0 than go for a 2-0 and then get the 1-1 point, 1-1 draw. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Derek. Oren, have you got anything to add?
Yeah, speaking on the result, last time we played Arsenal under Gus Hiddink at the Emirates, we did manage a 4-1 win.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, I'm not confident going into the game, but we do need these 3 points just as much as Arsenal, and it should be an extremely interesting game. Anything to add, Louis?
About it being an interesting game, or just overall what I think?
Yeah.
Like I keep saying, it is going to be a difficult game. I think with Arsenal, this game will give them the bragging rights if they win, and that's just something I can't fathom. I don't want them to, because we've had them for so long. But actually, no, I've just seen something really, really good in the comments.
What's that?
Gary Ant Evans plays Zuma as holding midfielder.
That has been done before. It didn't necessarily work before, but we could risk it. However, I've got to admit, I think we've already got enough holding midfielders to choose from. As we said earlier, Mikel, Loftus-Cheek, and Ramirez could all start.
But if you think about it, if you thought about this, it could potentially be something really, really useful, because in the big games when he played holding midfielder, it worked really, really, really well.
He does have every attribute that that a good, big, strong, fast holding midfielder has.
So, and then if we thought about it like this, sorry to cut you off, Max. But if you thought about this, Kennedy has in the past played as a left back, hasn't he?
Yes, I'm trying to remember what game it was. Was it Crystal Palace? I want to say at home. Yeah.
It's a few games he's played as a left back. So potentially, if you started him as that left back, he would be very attacking, but obviously he can get back. But it is a risk that we could take. Right back, play Aspilicueta. Play Ramirez right midfield. Mikel Zuma as a holding midfielders. Move Willian over to the left. Oscar in the middle. Costa up top.
Are you do you not think Ivanovic is near good enough? I mean, I personally think his form has been a lot better recently.
His form has been better, but if you think about the players that Arsenal have, Hector Bellerin, Walcott, Sanchez, Chamberlain, just 4 there. Possibly they have the fastest squad in the Premier League, without a
It's
shadow of a
true.
doubt.
He didn't look awful in the game earlier this season against Arsenal, though, did he? It was one of his better games at the beginning of the season, from what I remember.
He didn't look awful, but he's a liability, and I just think his form has been better. But against Everton, he was still getting passed by.
I do completely agree. It does happen too often, but I think for such a big game, it's too risky to try things to that extremity, I believe. Sorry.
But Max, I do think there has to be something different to happen because the way the season is going.
Oh, completely. Completely, yeah.
Maybe we need something like that. But like going on fullback, I don't think Kennedy would be best suited for a left back in this game. Like I said before, that pace and energy he has could potentially help us.
Max Newton here says, Bubba Ullman, why do you think he shouldn't deserve a shout? Do you think Kennedy's better suited than an out-and-out fullback?
I think Babaraman could potentially start. As in, I know Louis said maybe he doesn't have enough experience, but sometimes you have to throw a player into the deep end.
Definitely, and obviously it could do wonders. I've been expecting to see him get a lot more game time than he has done. My back four, I must say, I'd stick with Ivanovic. I'd go for the safe option. As you guys know, not a massive fan of him. I don't think he quite cuts the mustard, so to speak. But for a game like this, I have said this season we need to make changes. Things need to change. Why aren't we mixing up the team? Why aren't we changing our formation? But for a game like this, I genuinely believe that due to the fact that Ivanovic's form has been much better, but he has been liable at times, I must admit, I think he should start at right back. Obviously, Azpilicueta at left back. For my two centre backs, it is difficult to choose. Obviously, Terry will start without doubt. Has the experience? Good big game player, will definitely start. Then you've got to choose between Zuma or Cahill. Zuma, fans' favourite. Personally, I prefer starting Zuma. I think he's a better player, stronger, faster, a lot better under pressure. But Cahill has experience, and in games like this, again, experience is massive. But I must say, I do think Zuma will be better. He has played a lot more than he did last season, and he's looked good this season. So that would personally be my back four. Derek, how do you think Chelsea's back four will go? We've all spoken about it, apart from you so far.
Yeah, I'm going for the same back four as Louis. But the only thing I'm going to talk about is right if I talk about the two defensive mids that you're on about. I don't think maybe Zuma and Cahill. No, sorry, Zuma and Jonathan Mikel together in holding midfield would work because it's too defensive for me. I don't see any of them pass the ball forward. It's not like a Fabregas when he's on form where he can find the pass easy. I don't find that. The two holding mids they'll struggle with if they play them two together. That's what I would say.
But Fabregas never turns up against Arsenal whenever he's played. In the 3 or 4 games he's played against Arsenal for us, he just doesn't turn up. So I don't.
Really? Do you not remember that goal where he done that incredible assist from his own half to Costa, who then chipped it over the keeper last season?
Yeah,
that's one thing.
I agree. His form.
He had acres of space. He will not, and ever since that happened, he has not had that space to be able to go on and do that. I don't think that he. I'm not saying that he shouldn't play a role in the game, but I just do not think that he is. You know.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think. I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I think defensively we need that solidity, and because we are so leaky defensively. And I know you're saying it's too defensive. That's possibly a good thing. And I think we do need that defensive solidity.
I kind of agree with you there, Louis, about the defensivity against the team that Arsenal are this season. They're way at the top. I do think that defensive solidity could help achieve a result.
Yeah, I reckon I'd still start Fabregas if I'm honest with you. His form has been better. What's he got? 3 assists recently, and he got picked up a goal at Stamford Bridge against Everton. He's looking a lot better. But yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you when you say that his form hasn't been great against Arsenal. What would you like to say, Derek?
I was going to say that. Right. Obviously, when he goes back to defensive solidity, conceding 5 goals against West Brom and Everton at home is a bit. I do understand. So you're going to Arsenal away. I think you need to hold it up, don't you? Really.
Yeah. I'd still play Fabregas at attacking midfield. Louis, you said you'll start Oscar. Who would you start in your attacking midfield role, Warren?
In my attacking midfield, I'd go Kennedy. Kennedy on the left. I can't decide between Oscar and Fabregas, but one of them would play in the middle, and Willian on the right. I just think that with the two left, Kennedy on the left and Willian on the right, it'll give us more pace to attack the fullbacks. I know Arsenal have pretty pacey fullbacks as well.
Oran, you sound like C3PO, mate.
Thanks.
Are you able to tell me whether or not Costa is fit? I know that he is doubtful. Is he definitely out, or is there a possibility that he can start?
I've heard he possibly might start, but then if we don't start him, who do we start? As in, like, Remy doesn't get in at all, and Falcao is muck. Let's face it, he's just absolute muck.
Yeah, we briefly picked up on it yesterday, I think, didn't we? Obviously, false nine doesn't work for us. There's no chance even talking about a false nine. We need possessive football to play a false nine, and Chelsea are known as a team who don't necessarily play possessive football. We tend to hit on the counter attack, which has been one of our main problems this season. We haven't been doing that so strongly as we did last year. But I find it so difficult to choose. Like, as I said, I'm personally not as big a fan of Remy as a lot of Chelsea fans are. Louis, I know you have quite a lot of faith in the guy, don't you?
I do, but that's because he needs to get more of an opportunity.
Yeah, we did say about Bertrand Traore, though, who would be perfect. It's unlikely that they will choose him. Very, very unlikely. But he deserves it. I genuinely think he would be quality. He's fast, he's strong, he's a clinical finisher. Why he hasn't started more since his goal at Stoke, I really don't understand. It just baffles my mind.
I think
it's quite a risky move, but does anyone think Patrick Bamford?
I don't think in a game like this Patrick Bamford would be best suited unless he was partnered with someone late on in the game. I think he should be someone that we could send. If Remy's not fit, I don't know if Remy's fit or not. If Remy's fit and we need to get that goal right at the end of the second half, Remy and Kosh up top, no shadow of a doubt. If Remy wasn't fit, I would definitely bring in Patrick Bamford, 100%.
Remy's one of them players that you sort of bring in as an injection of pace at the end of the game when some of the rest of the players on the field don't quite have that pace when they're starting to look a little bit sluggish. You bring in someone like Remy on who can just sort of just bolster that attack and just add a little bit of flair and pace. I don't necessarily think he should start though. I can't say who would be best. As I said, I'd like Traore to start, but I think it's unlikely. Derek, who would your sort of attacking players be?
I'll go for Kennedy, and then I would go for Willian. But in the middle, I'd go for Oscar instead of Fabregas. Because if you put Fabregas in the team, I would like to see him further back. I know he's not the best defensively, but to find Costa like from route one, a lot easier if Costa plays, of course. And I'll just put Oscar just behind Costa. Oscar just behind Costa because Oscar brings more energy than Fabregas. Well, Fabregas can't really move as quickly as Oscar, and yeah, like that.
Definitely. If we go through our starting team now, I'll start with mine. So, Courtois in goal, Ivanovic and Azpilicueta as my two fullbacks, John Terry and Zuma. Then I'd go with Ramirez and Mikel. I quite like what Oren said earlier, and I think that would be very good for a game like this. Agreeing with Louis, Kennedy on the left would be quality. I don't quite agree with Kennedy at left back, but left wing, that injection of pace would be superb. Right wing, Willian. Attacking midfield, I'd go with Fabregas. Obviously, his form has been a lot better recently, and I hope he can do something. I hope he can prove Louis wrong, hopefully. And if Costa is fit, I'd go with Costa. If not, I'd love to see Traore be given the go. I'd love to. Whether or not he'll start, I highly doubt it, but I'd love to. Louis, what's yours?
My starting lineup.
Yeah, your starting lineup.
I think I would personally go Courtois. I'd be tempted to try out that Kennedy thing, but I think that I think you guys are right about. I think he'll go for the same back four. I'm gonna do um straight. He will just go for the normal. I think he'll go Aspilicueta, Zuma, Terry, Ivanovic, and then I think I would like Mikel and Ramirez, and then I'd like to go Kennedy, Oscar, Willian, and Costa. I think Fabregas, like Derek is saying, I think Fabregas is better suited to a deeper role because I think like he's saying, players like Gerrard, Pirlo, Fabregas, they're much better at looking for that pass at distance instead of being right up close with the action. And I think it would suit him better, but I do think we need that defensiveness and that energy in the middle of the park.
My lineup, I'd probably go for the same back four and keeper as everyone. I'd have Mikel and Ramirez partnering in the central midfield role. Like I was saying earlier on, the energeticness of Kennedy, I think, will help on the left. I've decided to go for Oscar in the middle because, like Derek was saying, I think he's more energetic than Fabregas, and like Louis was saying, Fabregas would be more suited to a deeper role where he could pick out the pass. On the right, I am going to go for Willian, and if he's fit, I'll go for Diego Costa up front.
Derek, your starting formation?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'd basically go for the same team as Louis, to be fair. Courtois in goal, fullbacks, Ivanovic and Aspilicueta, Terry Cahill, Johnny Mikel, Ramirez, Kennedy, Oscar, Willian, and up front Costa.
Yeah, so all sort of more or less the same. Has anyone else got anything they'd like to add before we do our score predictions? No? Okay, score predictions. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Oren, I'll start with you.
I'm going to go for it, like I said, I'll go for a cheeky 1-0 win.
Derek, Louis?
I'll go first. I'll go for 2-1 Arsenal.
Ooh. Louis?
Derek, you shouldn't be saying that on this channel. Okay, that's just something you should not be saying.
I did warn you of this before, Derek.
I just don't, especially when I'm here, because this is just going to cause you massive problems now. But no, I think I'm going to go 1-1. I don't think we'll win, but I reckon we'll get a point.
Yeah, so other than Derek, we're all saying that we'll get at least a point out of the game. But as I said, Derek's not a Chelsea fan. He's a neutral. What's that, Louis?
Derek shouldn't come back.
Yeah, he may be back sooner. Derek is actually an MK Dons fan, I'm going to say quickly.
Franchise!
Yeah, franchise. So he will more than likely be on for a stream before the MK Dons game or for a review. So you will be seeing more of this guy in the near future. No more. No more after that, though. He won't be back on again, much to many people's happiness and mine. Anyway.
No one likes owning a sports franchise club. Stole the soul of a football club. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we'll leave that. We'll leave all of that into the next one. Derek, you've got a lot in store for the MK Dons preview, mate. I'm sure everyone in the comments will rip you a new one when we do that. But anyway, has anyone else got any last words?
Yeah, just before we go, I'd like to say that Arsenal haven't. This is the longest Arsenal have gone without conceding a goal. The longest that Arsenal have gone without scoring a goal against Chelsea. If that continues on Saturday, it'll be their longest run against the team since they didn't score against Liverpool between '97 and 2000.
Yeah, that's a very nice fact there. I'm also going to say that, as this is an away game, our current away form this season does have to come into fact. Our away from this season, we've won 2, drawn 3, lost 5. Not very good at all. We've been poor away from home, so hopefully that doesn't continue. 4 of our next games are away as well, which does make it even more difficult. We've really got to pick up these 3 points, especially considering if our away form isn't great this season, we're going into a hard run of games. As we said, if Costa's back, he should do wonders. Against Arsenal early on in the season, he completely got in the minds of the Arsenal defenders. So if he's back, he'll be massive because his form is so much better now than it was in the last game. And that last game that he had, he was one of the more influential players on the pitch. So that'd be quality. Derek, if you've got anything else you'd like to add?
No. Well, apart from whoever's, as I think no one said earlier on, whoever's going to try and keep touch to Ozil will have to do it really well. Otherwise, they could be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, definitely. I think Oren said that he thinks Ramirez would be best to try and man mark Ozil. I'm just going to do a quick shout out to Freddie. I forgot to do it in the last stream. Follow his Instagram, Freddie_CFC. Forgot to do it in the last stream. Definitely deserves it. Thank you, Tim, for joining in. Louis, any last words, mate?
Just say that you've done a very, very good job at hosting, Max.
Thank you. I did try, and the main man Louis YouTube channel, as I said earlier, the Bungalow link will be in the description. New channel coming soon. Louis, you've got 30 seconds. Quick, say something about it.
Okay, basically it's got me in it, so it's going to be really good. But I think that it just covers everything. I like to talk about news, what's going on in the world, not just football. There'll be FIFA videos coming out soon. There probably won't be a video this week, but that's because basically I got a travel tripod, which broke, funnily enough, when it was travelling. So if you get a travel tripod, make sure it doesn't break as a travel tripod. So there probably won't be one out this week unless I can find a way to sort out my camera angles. But yeah, it's pretty decent. So please, guys, subscribe. That'd be grand.
Yeah, definitely subscribe to him. Oren, Twitter, go on, say something. Got 30 seconds.
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Tully_Oren, and you can follow me on Instagram at OrenTully.
And as I said earlier on in the stream, most of you guys know by now, I've got a YouTube channel, The 12th Man. I'm going to give myself 30 seconds as well. FIFA videos, real life football, talks about football. We've got 3 guys on it, me, Ben, and Derek. So I'm sure he'll say something as well. I'd like to think it's a really good channel. You guys should enjoy it. Spend a lot of time editing the stuff. We've just gone over 500 subs now, so if you guys can keep that going, that'd be massively appreciated. Got some new content coming out soon, and a Q&A for hitting 500 subs. Derek, anything to say?
Yeah, follow 12th Man on Twitter, on 12th Man YT, and I will be getting a camera. We'll be putting up weekly Premier League roundups on it. So wait for that. That's coming soon. So that's about it.
Yeah, definitely new stuff in store. So anyway, this has been the end of our Arsenal versus Chelsea preview. Please leave a like if you have enjoyed. Leave your score predictions and any comments down below. I read all of them. I reply to all of them. Really love seeing them. So literally comment anything. But yeah, as I said, please like, comment and subscribe. This has been 100% Chelsea. Goodbye.